Greetings, my friends. I hope I find you well. This is Melusi Ndhlalambi. Who am I? I know some of you know me as a speaker. Some of you know me as an elder. Some of you know me as doing something in public health. Some of you know me as a Christian. Some of you know me as a coach. All right? You all know me differently. But today I want to talk about one of the things that I really have learned to do, something I've had to work through so that I can do it. I grew up being a quiet person. So quiet that I didn't even want to have friends. There are very few people who can say they were my friends or they are my friends. I was relatively a very private person. So I would say life taught me how to talk, how to speak. Not that I didn't have a voice, I didn't have a mouth, I had, but I preferred to be a quiet person and observe. But life has taught me how to speak. And I want to talk about what it takes to speak, because I can tell you, for me, it's been a battle. For many people out there, I know they still are like, Melusi, I would rather listen from the terraces. I don't want to speak. They are very shy. They feel inadequate. They have an imposter syndrome. And some of the most intelligent people I know with life-changing stories prefer to live in obscurity. They don't want to speak. And so I have come to accept that speaking, or even teaching, or even just sharing, takes a lot of brevity. It's not an easy thing to do. It really takes a lot of brevity. And I salute those who have decided to stand up and say something, because we all know ourselves. We all understand our thinking. And we kind of think that we are not the ones. It's got to be someone else. When I took up my challenge to do Christian ministry through videos, because I thought someone needs to record African preachers, because when they die, they go with everything and we're left with nothing. So I took up that challenge. I actually thought my ministry was for others. I have to find these speakers, that God has called, and put them out there. And I avidly did that until at some point in a number of areas, many of these speakers I thought are preachers and they're teachers, some of them ordained pastors, some are elders. They kept saying, no, the camera is not for me. No, I can't. I could name some names here, which was really a battle to get them to record for various reasons. And I then discovered, as I was trying to get them to do this and they would decline, I felt something in me saying, Melusi, but you can speak. I used to call people to come and do prophecy teachings, and I would still feel there's something they have not shared which burns inside of me. And sometimes I would just attend a seminar and I would listen to someone speak, and something in me would be jumping up and saying, but why are they not talking about this? Until finally I accepted, I think it's me that heaven wanted to speak. It's not others. God just used the ministry to show me the gaps and the opportunity of my story. And let me tell you, my friends, it takes a lot of brevity to do that. I don't find myself to be an adequate speaker, but I find myself having a lot to share on areas that I have either studied or God has taught me practically, or God is teaching me and leading me and guiding me, and I'm seeing His hand. And so I may be speaking to you right now. You're like, Melusi, I'm not sure that I want to share my story. And many of it's because personally we have this ego or this privacy that says, I don't want to be vulnerable. And vulnerability is a big thing for speakers. You are making yourself vulnerable to people judging you. And yes, that's what life is. The sower went out to sow. Some of his seed, good seed, fell on the roadside and it was picked by birds. Some of it fell on the thorny grounds and it was choked when it tried to grow. Some of it was on rocky grounds and the root didn't take root and it just wilted away. And even for the seed that fell on a good ground, the story says some of it yielded 30%, some of it 60%, and some 100%. So even for the good listeners that will really absorb your story, not all of them, because of their circumstances, because of their experience, because of their commitment, their attitudes and aptitude to learning, they might not even all use it 100%. But the good thing, my friends, is you gotta start speaking. You have a voice. Your story is so unique to you. There may be similar stories out there, but they are not the same. And when you stand up to say, I'm going to share my story, you're making yourself vulnerable. But you're giving the world something that it has never had, never seen, and will never see or hear again. Because your story is so uniquely yours, such that even when you die, I believe God will have to resurrect you, because He cannot recreate another person like you. That's why there's resurrection. And so today, I stand up to speak to you, not because I've got it all figured out. What I have figured out is the purpose of my life. And I've discovered that God is at work in my life, the things I have experienced, the people I have interacted with, the family that I come from, the friendships that I've developed over the years, every workspace I have gone to, and every failure I have gone through, and every success that has attended my efforts, all comes together to prepare me for the story that's ahead of me. And so I'm just here to tell you that I decided to embrace this, not because I was wise enough to figure it out, but I took time to reflect. And as I reflected, I then discovered this storyline, this understanding, this way of thinking is not being reflected out there. Because there's no one out there like me. And there's no one out there like yourself. You are the master of your own story. And God has given it to you. And God is saying, just break the shell. Crack the shell. And you see, the perfect picture of purpose, focus, and attention to detail is when I saw one of the birds that's in my park sitting in the daylight in a scorching sun over its 3 eggs, transferring its heat, its heartbeat to this egg, with the hope that one day out of this egg a bird shall come out. Day and night, in the heat and in the cold of the night, these birds exchanged, sitting over these eggs, until one day they hatched into fully grown birds that could run. And so what am I saying to you, my friends? Nurture that gift. Nurture your story. Nurture your story. It's okay for you to take time, patiently waiting, hoping against all hope, doing everything you can to develop your storyline. But one day, you're going to have to break the shell and come out and show us and tell us and teach us and guide us and lead us and counsel us and perhaps even coach us on how to live this life, because you have received from your maker and from his studio or from his incubator or from his school this lesson that you are now teaching us. I believe everyone has a story. I believe everyone has a life-changing lesson you can leave us with. And so with these few words, I just want to say, speak. Let not the rocks cry out. Share. Be vulnerable. Because it is that which makes others grow as well. Share what you have gone through. Share the lessons. I know for some of your stories, they're too scandalous and too gory. you will destroy other people's lives if you share your story. But at least there are lessons you have learned in life out of those stories. You don't have to tell us the names, but tell us the lesson. Share with us. Don't deny us. And here is the kicker. In this great storyline of our lives and our controversies and our inadequacies, our losses and our pain, the book says, and they overcame the enemy by the blood of the Lamb. But also it says, by the word of their testimony. When we share our words, we are sharing our testimony, what we have been tested on, and how we have managed to harmonize that and to create melody out of it. And we can sing out of our own life as a storybook, as a songbook. And so when you testify, you are giving others victory to show them, I've walked that road and I've overcome. I'm on the other side of the river. I can walk you through. So share your story, my brothers and sisters. Share. Because as you do, you're giving us victory. Break the shell. Get out. Be vulnerable. And share this story. So I'm on a journey. I believe if I live long enough that I have to still speak and I still have to work, I think I'll graduate from being a coach to become wise counsel. Love that title. Wise counsel. So Melusi Ndhlalambi, wise counsel. The Lord has shown me a lot. Life has taught me quite a lot. The corporate ladder, which I climbed very early to a very senior position in my field, has taught me a lot. And so I pray you find your story and you start speaking. God bless you.